Okay, we should be live in a moment. How's everyone doing today? It's a pleasure. I'm here in the US, but I have a couple of folks that are on the continent joining me, and we're just going to talk about life in general. So I would like to introduce Janie. Janie, say hi.
Hello, family.
She's on the continent. And I would like to introduce Jay, who's also on the continent. Jay, say hi.
Shalom, family. Shalom.
And some or most of you know Miss Coco G, my other half.
Hello.
Your
hello,
better
hello,
half,
everyone.
right?
Yes.
The better half. The slowest of the nickels.
Yes. So this really just came about off the cuff. And so what we're going to do here today, we're going to talk a little bit about crypto. You know, I love crypto. We're going to talk about crypto in terms of the continent. And then we're just going to talk about business and life on the continent and just get a perspective from Jay and Janie and you know, just have a little fun. So I've known Janie now for a few months. Janie was a part of my Learn Crypto course back in my live class back in April. And she was wonderful to have. And, you know, I've been continuing on with my crypto, trying to help out everyone that I can. Jay, this is our first time actually meeting in person. So
Yes.
it's a pleasure for me to meet you and say hi.
Good to be here.
So, Janie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, well, I am Janie Howard, and I am the CEO. My husband just said Jones. Okay, Janie Howard Jones. He needs me to Janie Veronica Howard Jones. Let's put my whole government in there, right?
Oh, sorry.
Year ago. And we have a honey company called the African Bee Company, which we started in the States. And we, you know, in preparation for coming here. And I know we'll get to it at some point, but it's really different, boots on the ground, right? It's really different. But here we are, and we're happy to be here.
Hello. I can't hear you. It's on me to go?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear.
No problem.
All right. I got it. Yeah, my name's Jay Grigsby. I'm founder and CEO of Green Arc Farms, freeze drying and long-term food storage. My family and I have been here in Rwanda for almost a year now. And I guess we'll get to the particulars of what I do later, but I guess I'll land my plane there, as everyone says.
Okay. And obviously, you guys know Coco.
Hello, everyone. I'm just the sidekick for today. Nothing to do here.
So you know what, Coco? Why don't you talk a little about Quest? Maybe not everybody knows about Quest and what we're doing with Quest.
So I'm part of the board over on Quest Unite Africa, and right now we're involved with land acquisition over in Ghana. And with that being said, hopefully who's ever listening right now in the comment section could head over there and just take a look at what we're doing, and maybe that'll move you to donate either your time or money into this huge project, because it's not only land acquisition that we're working on right now, but we're also preparing to build out a hospital over there. So you'll see where your money's going to, what it's working towards. And
Yes.
basically right now, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
And if you have any questions about that, drop it in the comment section. And if I can answer it, and I'll answer that question.
Sounds good. So, Janie, Jay, whoever wants to go first, or just talk about how you guys met, or how long you've been on the continent, and when did you decide to make the move to the continent?
Go first.
Yes, Sister Daniel Moore.
Well, first I want to say I love the work that is it Q2A?
Yes.
I love the work that you're doing. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, so I was looking at the website the other day, and I think it's amazing. And I may not have time, but I do plan to, support financially more, because it's an amazing work that you guys are doing. And and I really enjoy Karis. I remember when he first started the move. I'm gonna call it a movement because it's huge, right? When he first started it, and I've been kind of like following, but maybe at some point I'll be able to join. But in the meantime, I'm praying, and whatever dollars that I can give, I'm giving. So I got y'all back. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, okay, so we were listening to, my husband and I, we were listening to Teo Ministries one night.
Okay.
Almost a year ago. And this man came on and he was like, "Hey, name is Jay Grigsby. I just got to Rwanda with my wife, my kids, and my mom 2 weeks ago." And I'm like, "What?" And so I reached out to him. I sent an email, asked him if he wanted to meet for coffee or something. And he said yes. And that's when we met. And we've been tight ever since, for real. And it was just a great thing. And it was really timely because, one thing as Hebrews, my husband and I, we were used to a kind of isolation, right? Like, when you don't celebrate the holidays and all that anymore. But here, it's isolation to another level because everything around you is unfamiliar, right?
Sure.
So when we met Jay and his wife Abby, it just changed. It just changed the whole. I don't know the word that I'm looking for. Thank you. My husband just said dynamic. So it changed everything for us, right? They said, hey, and so it was funny because Jay was like, "Can you, I'm having dinner. Y'all want to come over?" And my husband was kind of grumpy back then. Well, he was grumpy back then because he wasn't thrilled about being on the continent. It's a big change. And so I didn't tell him that other people were coming, right? Because I knew he was going to say, "I'm not going." And so we got over there and the house was full. It was full. I felt emotional just talking about it because it was full with people, with family, that we didn't know that we had.
Right.
And it's just been a great experience.
Well, somebody asked in the comments, how is President Paul Kagame? So I'm going to put that question on one of you guys because I don't know the answer to that.
Jay knows. That's his friend.
Well, honestly, I think President Kagame he's one of the most amazing people that I know. Just as far as being a president, he's extremely personable. Quick story. So there's this place called Simba Center. It's like a little mall where all the expats go, like in Kigali, like the main area of Kigali. And we had to go there. My wife and I and the kids had to go there to pick up some groceries or something. And so we were in there and we'd actually just come out. And again, we had the kids and everyone with us. And my little son's sitting there screaming and crying. And I'm looking down the hall and I see this man walking. And I'm like, "That's the president." And I'm like, hey, Mr. President. I was like, can I shake your hand? Of course, I had to ask because he had all the guys with the earpieces around. I'm like, can I shake your hand?
Right.
So he was like, yes, yes, yes. I was like, oh, man. So I shook his hand. And of course, my son chooses that time to start screaming and crying because I had this little funnel in the cart, like to pour stuff in. And he wanted to play with it. And he's screaming and crying. And the president's like playing with the baby. And he's like, what's the matter with the baby? I'm like, oh, he just wants this and that. And of course, at this point in time, everyone's running out of the stores, and they're like, oh, the president. I was like, I could really get a picture because they were getting pictures with him. I was like, now is not the picture I want. I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the picture that I want. And when he comes out to my farm, and we're actually doing things here on the continent, so that was my Meet the President story.
Okay. And as you can see, Jay, you and Janie have a fan club already. Somebody's saying hi to you both.
Hey, Abby.
Hey, Abby.
That's Jay's wife.
For sure.
Listen, you have to walk around with your entourage.
I see.
So I'm gonna ask you about crypto first. So Janie, I know that, well, my guess is that you are the most knowledgeable of the group when it comes to the crypto. How have you seen it in effect on the continent? Have you seen, do people talk about crypto? Do you see places that crypto is being accepted?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen any place that it's been accepted. Now there are a few people talking about crypto, other than us. Like I shared the little bit of knowledge that I have with the people who help us out here, and
right.
And so one as assistant today was just like, I went on Binance and looked at XRP, and I was very discouraged. So I just
discouraged?
He said because it was low.
But it
was low.
See, that's a great buying opportunity. So people, when it comes to assets, whether it be silver, gold, as an example, I started buying silver almost 10 years ago. And I was buying silver at $14 an ounce up to like $22 an ounce. But I bought it with a long-term plan. So in my particular case, almost 10 years later, now silver is over $100. Like if I was discouraged in the price, I wouldn't have gotten involved at all, but I was looking at the long-term picture. And that's the way you have to look at crypto. Like you can't look at it and say, okay, I'm looking to get rich next week, or, my money is going down. You got to look at the big picture and do your homework and say, hey, I don't care what the price is today, because I know in 3 to 5 years, it's going to explode to prices that only I could have imagined.
Right. And I didn't say all that to her, but I did tell her to just hold on. Don't worry about it. Just leave it. Don't drive yourself crazy looking for it. And see, the thing is, I think part of it is like money, the money here is small, right? Compared to the US, to USD. And so the people, the local people, just regular people, it means a lot to buy, even more than it means to us, if I'm saying this right. Like it took a lot out of her pocket,
right,
to get the crypto. And so she was worried about it. So I just told her to hold on. It was going to be all right. and I told her to stop looking at it all the time if it makes her feel discouraged.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, I shared this again on Monday in my members class, but there's a video that I was sharing regarding XRP. And when you look at the globe or the map, they broke it out into sections, and Africa was considered section 3, meaning that in general, people people make about they were saying which sounds really low, but they were saying that people make somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $6,000 a year. Some people make that low, or at least you can survive on that low amount. So they were saying that as long as you have, let's say, $1,000 worth of XRP, and you know how to, that could very well be enough to like sustain you, because it doesn't cost as much to live.
Okay.
And
that makes
also,
sense.
the thing is, one of the things that I try to promote and try to help people understand is assets are, when you understand assets are a tool. So you want to take your assets and leverage them. So as an example, next week, I'm going to talk about life insurance. I knew a little bit about life insurance, but as I started doing my research, I didn't realize how powerful life insurance really is and how you can make money from your life insurance and actually control how it's used years after you're dead and buried. So that's the amazing thing about life insurance.
Can I
Wow.
just ask a few questions to Janie? And this is about your business. So for me, I'm wondering, like, what type of bees are you using, and how many hives do you have?
Well, let me bring her business up also. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure. Okay, there we go. So that's Janie's business.
Okay.
Janie, go ahead.
Excellent, honey.
Okay, so
Excellent, honey. I must say, we are devoted customers. Excellent. Had to throw that in there, Sister Jane.
thanks, Jay. So we actually don't have any hives yet, Coco. We buy our honey from some of the best honey produced on the continent, in my view. Like our acacia honey comes from Tanzania, and so that's our acacia honey. And now both honeys are rare, with Melipona being the rarest because it's produced by stingless bees, right? So it's very medicinal. It's anti-diabetic. It's, it has all the great qualities of a good honey, but just doesn't taste as sweet, right? Because it's more medicinal.
Janie, is there a particular page you would like me to go? Maybe a product to show, to feature?
Well, you were just there where on the melon, scroll down, right there. So you'll see acacia honey, then you'll see forest honey in the middle, and right now I'm talking about the Melipona, which is highly great medicine. In fact, people dilute it with distilled water or, clean water, and they use it in different things like that. It's a great alternative to, synthetic medicine, right?
Right.
And I have my husband just brought up a toothache. So the other day he had a toothache. Oh, they get worse at night, right? Nobody was sleeping.
Right.
So we got some of the acacia honey. Also has medicinal properties, and applied it to that area, and it killed that throbbing rest. And the next day he was at the dentist. So I'm just saying, quality honey is important, and what the honey is just, in my view, just as important, because you notice a lot of honey in plastic, right? And
yes,
plastic leaches chemicals. I'm sure we know this over time, and so we're just trying to we're doing our best to be true to the purity of our honey. Now, in the middle is forest honey, and our forest honey is from Rwanda. And it's good. it's really good honey. And and I want to say, like, for the in Rwanda, almost everyone has forest honey. So
Okay.
so it's a real right, but the quality is usually pretty bad. And so again, ourselves to we dedicate ourselves to providing the best honey that we could find from the best so everything we do benefits local beekeepers and their families, and that's really huge. If I could just say this short story, when we were still in the States, my husband and I, we like honey. We was trying to replace sugar with honey and all that. And so we would go to different stores, and I would see honey, of course, from New Zealand, even some honey from France, and of course the local honey for the region that we were in. But I never saw any honey from Africa. And I mean, I didn't even know that Africa produced honey until I started, digging into that. And I was like, well, over. And even in like Trader Joe's foods, I didn't see anything from Africa. So that's a part of our mission as well, to let people who does produce honey. She produces great honey. And not only that, a lot of the honeys that we see they say come from other places, they done came to Africa to get it. And they just packaged it in the country that they're in. Y'all know how that works, right?
Yeah. So what are some of the requirements that you
So,
look for when you're choosing beekeepers to supply you with their honey? Like, what are your standards?
no pesticides. That's the biggest thing. No pesticides. The honey has to be organic, and of course no additives. Say for the most part, the beekeeper is not the one who adds, the syrups and all that to the honey to stretch it. Usually that happens when it gets to the other side, right?
Okay.
Like to the hotels and different places like that. But yeah, so everything has to be organic. The soil, everything, the size, and that really defines us as a company. Where we want, and again, that's why we package in glass. We want everything, to the best of our ability, to be organic. So even though
So Janie, someone is asking. I'm sorry. Somebody was asking, does your darker contain some beeswax?
Who, me?
we got
Janie.
disconnected for a second.
Oh,
Somebody's asking, does the darker contain some beeswax?
Not necessarily. The environment that the bees are in and everything can produce, variation in color, right? And also, one of the ways of knowing that you have a good honey, like, is not only the color, but whether it crystallizes or not. Like some people think
So crystallizing
is good. Crystallization is good. That's indicative of pure honey.
And the darkness.
And the color, because like acacia honey is light amber color. The forest honey is dark, and the melipona is dark. So it doesn't mean that it has beeswax in it necessarily.
I love your packaging.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So Coco, did answer everything, or?
Yes, you did answer everything.
Okay.
If I have other questions as we go along, I'll ask.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to ask Jay if he wouldn't mind. I'm going to bring up Jay's website. which is Green Arc Farms. And Jay, if you don't mind just talking a little bit about Green Arc Farms and what you do.
Sure. So yeah, again, our company's Green Arc Farms. Basically, what we do now and what we initially came to do is it's not completely different. We just shifted and readjusted things a little bit. So, and there's a lot that comes with that, but I'll just be a little brief with it. So initially when we came here, my primary focus was to focus on the freeze drying and the long-term food storage aspect of things. So basically what our plan was is, because if you look at the World Food Bank data, it says Rwanda wastes over 50% of its food in post-harvest due to like an improper handling of the food, just lack of proper storage, and a host of other things, and also the inability to properly preserve food here. The infrastructure doesn't really allow for, you know, top-notch preservation like the U.S. and many other countries. So what our plan was is we were initially going to go to the markets. When I first got here, I did a little bit of market research, and I went to the markets just to see, you know, what the waste was like. And there was a huge amount of food that's wasted at these markets because they're bringing in fresh produce, and it only sells so fast. And you figure there's markets all over the country, and they can only sell it so fast. So like 2 to 3 times a week, they're taking these giant sacks of food out. And I was asking them, like, well, what are they going to do with that food? I'm thinking, you know, well, it might go to compost or some type of other, you know, regenerative process. But the truth of the matter is, they're like, we're just throwing it away. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that's thousands of dollars worth of food that's just being thrown away. So after seeing this, when I initially came, I went back home. Quick background, I've had over 25 years of long-term food storage and food preservation experience. Whether it be freeze drying, dry storage, canning, water bath and pressure canning, salting, all sorts of things. I've always had an interest in food preservation. So I went back to the US and purchased some commercial freeze dryers. And I spent like several months just basically in the lab working on perfecting processes, freeze drying any and everything I could possibly find until I finally started dialing down formulas to produce the most top-notch food. And my plan was to come back here and take that process and go to those farmers and say, okay, we know that you're going to lose X amount of dollars on all these crops. We know you're going to get rid of them. We've been monitoring your sales, and we know what you do sell and what you don't sell. So what we'll do is we'll agree to buy this produce from you at a certain negotiated cost. And then we can take that produce and then we can turn it into a value-added item. And we can put on made in Rwanda, because it's made in Rwanda. It's Rwandan fruit, and it's processed here. And that's one of the biggest things is producing finished goods and finished products here. So that was the initial plan. We went and sat with pretty much every level of government and every office. Everyone gave us the head nod, you know, this is great, this is good. And then it kind of just, you know, fell off from there. You know, it comes down to funding. We have getting machinery here and this and that. So
do you find that is it easier to get equipment from the US over there, or do you use like Alibaba and places in Europe or the East?
No, so my plan was, we have a shipping container that we purchased, our own container. And I'm currently trying to get that shipping container over here. I have 2 commercial freeze dryers in that container right now. Initially, we had paid a company out of the US, out of Florida, to ship that machine here, and they took our money and never refused to give us our money. Never came and picked up the container and totally no-showed us. So,
well, you mentioned carrots earlier, And Karis now, I would have to call him an expert because he's gotten a container from the U.S. over to the continent.
Yeah.
And so he
Yes.
may be a great resource to help you with
Exactly.
that.
Absolutely. I should probably reach out to Brother Karis on that note. And he's in Florida. He
Yeah.
can probably maybe send a little smoke that way to the company that's still got our money and won't give it back.
It's about 45 minutes from me.
Wow. But so yeah, that's the plan. We honestly, as far as when it comes to the machinery, there's a specific company I prefer, because I'm, one, familiar with the machine. Two, I know the level of quality it produces. There's companies that out of China and other places that have kind of hit me up on what's that, LinkedIn and some other places that have been like, hey, we have machines, but I don't know. I see the products that come from those machines versus the quality of what I do and what I've tested, and I trust what I know. I trust my own armor.
So Jay, are your products currently being sold in stores right now in Rwanda?
No, they're not, because because I don't have the machinery here to actually produce them.
Okay.
I have made contact with some stores, and they've already said that once I get my machines here and start processing, I have space on their shelves, definitely. So it's a matter of time. It's just a matter of getting those machines here. So, please give me
Do you just deal in crops or livestock?
So,
are they a combination of the two?
So this is where things kind of shifted, like I was alluding to earlier. So right now, because of the fact that we couldn't get those machines here, we ended up having to shift our business focus. So we purchased some land in Bugesera. As a matter of fact, we're neighbors with Sister Janie. Our land is literally connected. So basically, we purchased some land together, and or not together, but next to each other. And I'm focused on 100% organic crops right now.
Okay.
And primarily tomatoes. We specialize in over 80 varieties of tomatoes right now, all heirlooms and organic tomatoes. Just a quick reference back to, you were talking about crypto, Brother Fastnickel. You were talking about crypto and putting stock in things, for the future, like for value. You were talking about gold and silver. Well, unfortunately, I'm not in the financial position to do that. But what I have been doing is I've been putting an investment in seeds, organic and heirloom seeds. So right now, I've got probably around almost 200 varieties of rare seeds. So we're kind of shifting focus, and we're trying to set up things that no one else is like really doing here. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of detail quite yet of the things we're going to do, but definitely we're taking a different approach.
I'm gonna throw my 2 pennies in real quick. For me, it's like I see you being able to tokenize those seeds for, liquidity.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, the fact that you got companies like Monsanto who's putting out all this fake stuff, that it's going to become harder and harder to find real seeds.
Absolutely.
And that's where tokenization falls into play, where you can benefit the environment and the health of others through tokenization of those seeds, because they're going to be so rare to find.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Very good.
Janie, I think this is a question for you. I think someone wants to know how to purchase your product.
Okay. May I leave my email address? May I give my email address? Because there is someone in the States who has some of my product, and she's in New York. So I don't know how far away
Okay,
that is from the person who's asking, but I can check and see what she has left, and I can hook up with that person, and we can get something
sure.
to him or her. I think the
And at the
question.
very, I was just gonna say at the very top of the chat, I have your website linked.
Okay, okay. So yeah, so that's a great way. But also, when you go to the website, right, you're going to find products that are here in Rwanda. So that's why it would be a good idea for this person, for this brother or sister, to just email me, and then I can direct them to the person who has my product in the States. It's not
Okay,
it's not official. She used some, and she would like to sell it. So I have to call her, see what she has left, and then maneuver that way. Because it would cost way too
gotcha,
much
gotcha.
money to have it shipped from Rwanda to the States, of course, right? But I think
Right.
a part of the question too. So can I give you my email address now, or where? How? I am not tech
You know what?
savvy, so.
Put it in in our personal chat, and I'll post it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So the
I
person
have a question for Jay.
asked.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Sure.
I just wanted to answer the question that the sister or brother asked. What are the health benefits, right? And so,
There's a
am I good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for. Oh, did you? I'm just waiting for you to put your email in, and I'll post it for you.
And then I'll ask you the question when Janie gets done, Jay.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I just disconnected and it
I hate
reconnected. And that's another thing here. The internet here, it gets crazy sometimes. So if we drop, just know it's
It's okay. It's funny. While you guys were talking, Brother Karras called me, and and so I told him I'm doing a live, and he wanted me to know that gold is already, gold. Let me just. It's wild. Gold is right now. Gold is $5,300 an ounce.
that's crazy.
wow.
That's crazy. And for those of you, this is what's to me that is so alarming. Silver is at almost 115. Literally, silver hasn't been doing anything for years, and now look, it went up 50 cents that quick, but it's been going up almost $1 a day.
That's crazy.
Like almost 10%, which is like unfathomable.
Can I ask my question to Jay? Because
Of course.
for me, I want to know, since you've purchased the land, how do you see the quality of the soil for growing organically? Because that's a big thing for me, because that dictates the nutritional value of whatever you're growing.
Absolutely. As far as our land goes, the soil is very mineral rich where we are, especially there's micro environments here. Like if you go like northern more to Musanza, you're gonna deal with more volcanic soil, which is actually very good soil. And the climate's completely different and everything. So you've got all these microclimates, like where we are, it's a little warmer, and it's got more minerals in it. So we have to definitely amend the soil with compost. We use compost, wood ash, and even a little sawdust. But as far as the quality of the soil, it's really good. At least on my farm, it's really, really good. Like you could spit a watermelon seed in the ground and it's going to grow.
It'll flourish.
quick story. So this last season, we did I told you, we do specialty tomatoes. We do over 80 varieties. So I did a test and I planted a bunch of different varieties of tomatoes, and it was rainy season like when I first planted. So the issue we were having is the roots were soaking in so much water that a lot of the tomatoes were bursting. And so those were clearly months we couldn't sell. So I said, okay, well, we're gonna try something. So instead of just throwing them out, I took those tomatoes. They were quality tomatoes too. They were good looking tomatoes. And I just squeezed the seeds on the ground. The ones that would burst, I squeezed them on the ground. And when this last season came around, all those areas where I just squeezed the seeds on the ground, I had patches of tomatoes growing. We didn't even have to take and open any of our new seeds this new season. I literally had my farmers move those tomatoes and spread them out, and we have a whole new harvest or a whole new planting already put in just from that.
So
That's how good the soil is.
So what do you do with the tomatoes that you can't really bring to market to sell? Do you process that? Do you make sauces with them? Do you use it as diced tomatoes? What do you do with them? What's your process?
Well, right now, I take them home and eat them. I have a wife who loves tomatoes, so so as of right now, I just bring them home and they usually just go in our salads. But the plan is once my machines get here, we're going to take all the tomatoes that burst like that, and we're just going to process them and freeze dry them and turn them into powder. And
into
we're just
powder?
going to make a bunch of, we can turn them into tomato powder.
Okay.
Freeze dry them.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Interesting.
So yeah.
And this is where crypto comes into play with real world assets, because that's a real world asset that you can literally make money off of through crypto and tokenization. Correct?
Well, everything will be tokenized, so.
But you could be at the ground floor with that.
Hopefully I can catch up.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure behind on the crypto game right now.
Well, I've got a question by somebody, so I want to do this. I'm being asked, someone's asking, they would like to sign up with Fastnickel class on learning crypto. So my website is at the very top. It's pinned in the chat, which is learncrypto101.info. So what you see here are 4 variations. So for those who just want to be part of my Monday Q&As, we have the basic, which we meet every Monday at 7:30 Eastern. And if you happen to miss it, you can always watch the replay. Then we have exclusive membership, where you have access to just about all my classes, and you also have the replay link, 101 consultant. And then if you want to sign up for a live course, I do live courses on Sundays at 11 a.m. And Janie is a perfect spokesperson, because on my site down at the bottom, I have her. Gave a beautiful recommendation.
Love it.
So, and there's some people here in the chat that have been in my courses. I think everybody will tell you that I tried my best to take my time. And it's funny, I was telling Coco, I'm not necessarily the most patient, but because of Brother Yakova telling everybody, he's patient, it forced me to be patient.
That's the
truth. My
truth.
best to be patient with everybody. Because I'm like, why don't they get this? But the funny thing is, there's a lot of people, and this goes for anything, whether you're trying to bring them to the Most High, whatever. Like, people just they push you off until the crisis hits them, and the problem with that is now you're panicking.
Right.
And you don't want to do anything because you're panicking. That's the worst. So so yeah, that's my little rant on my Learn Crypto 101. If you want to learn, I definitely take my time with people, help them to understand. And really what I try my best to do is help you avoid the pitfalls that I went through when I was learning. Because when I was in crypto, when I first started in 2016, 17, there was nobody to go to. So it was a lot of trial and error. And everybody who started when I did, we can all tell you we have lost $10,000 plus just because we didn't know or we got scammed. It's part of the battle scars of being an early pioneer to crypto. So that's what I try to help people to avoid those pitfalls and just show them, because whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not, if you read the Bible, we know that a one world currency, you can see what they're doing, what the World Economic Forum is doing in the next 2 to 3 years. So you want to be, you want the covering of the Most High. But also remember, the word says my people perish for lack of knowledge. So you can't just sit back and treat the Most High like he's a genie and think that just things fall into your lap. You have to do an action. You have to do something. So, and I always use the woman with the issue of blood. She finally got fed up and she did something that went against the norm of the day, and her blessings and prayers got answered.
And we
I
need
like
to
it that
start networking. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I apologize, Coco. We have a delay, so I think you can go ahead. I'll wait for you to finish.
And this is why, like, Fastnickel holding this type of panel today brings together our people in networking within our circle to bring forth fruit through the Most High. It's an example of community. Like, we're holding each other accountable, but yet we're helping each other.
That's so true. Jay, you have a question. Someone is saying that they love tomatoes, but they have had no success growing them. Cucumbers seem to be easier for them.
As far as growing tomatoes, honestly, tomatoes are not hard to grow. Generally, there's a handful of things that are generally wrong. If I knew more about what your issue was, I guarantee you I could correct it. But one of the most common things is overwatering tomatoes and not knowing the proper variety of tomato for where you are to grow. Because there's some factors that come into play with where you are and what you're trying to grow and how much water you give that tomato. And most of the times when you have problems with your tomatoes and you think it's something major, it's usually something minor, like maybe adding a little bit of wood ash to your tomatoes. It might be like a calcium block because your leaves are curling and you think your tomato's dying. It's probably overwatered and can't get the calcium it needs, and you probably just need to add a little wood ash. Just, again, minor things. Tomatoes are pretty easy. If you were here, I would give you a class on tomatoes, and one day you'd be growing tomatoes, no problem.
I was about to ask you, do you do any online teaching that would be available to people?
I can't say I do any online teaching. Like, it's funny you're saying this because this goes back to what I was kind of saying behind the scenes about being intentional this year. Like for me, 2026 is a year to be intentional about everything I do, whether it's sticking to my guns on things or building relationships. It's about being intentional. So with that being said, this year, my focus has been getting my farmers, the local farmers here, trained to standard on growing practices. Like it's interesting because like the farmers that live next to me the farmers that are on the land next to mine, they grow tomatoes, and it's very common to go to a farm here in Rwanda and see people growing tomatoes, and they just put the seeds in the ground and the tomatoes are just running everywhere. That's the worst you can ever do with tomatoes. Like when it comes to growing tomatoes, you're supposed to trellis them. You want to trellis them and make them or take them off the ground, because the main cause of disease for tomatoes is letting the leaves get on the ground, because tomatoes soak up so much water. So you have to cut those first few leaves up to like 6 to 8 inches when you're growing, so no leaves are touching the ground. And another issue is watering, and just watering from above. When that water splashes down onto that compost and that compost splashes up under the leaves of the tomatoes, you just created a place for disease. So just minor things like that. I've been teaching my farmers how to grow tomatoes properly, and them seeing the results. We've even had neighbor farmers coming over to do like during the classes that I've been giving out there to my guys. They'll come over and I'll give them samples of tomatoes, and they're trying things they've never tried before. Like, oh my gosh, this is a tomato. I'm like, yeah, this is what this type of tomato tastes like. This is what this type tastes like. And it's been a really good experience. And I can tell it's making an impact and changing. But yeah, I do give classes. I just haven't got to that level where I'm doing it online. I'm trying to get my house in order.
What about you brought up water? So does the quality of water also affect the growth of the tomato, the quality of the tomato? And
so water's okay. So water's like one of those things. Well, first off, let me back up a little bit. You don't want to use like clearly like polluted water. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to tomatoes, like water that you feel might be contaminated with anything. However, the water that we use on our farm comes directly from lake. We're like right on Lake Chihuahua. Our farm, we're blessed to actually have a farm right on water. Like we're on the water, like a huge lake, looking right across from Burundi. Like Burundi, you could swim to the other country where we are. And the thing is, a lot of farmers aren't close to water where we are as well. But water, you shouldn't have to really worry about issues with water, because it's a plant, and the soil for one is going to filter out a lot of what goes in there into the plant. So you're going to get a lot of filtration just from the soil. And that plant is again, pretty much a plant. So you shouldn't have any issues like with lake water and whatever that we use. Our tomatoes come out perfectly fine and flavorful. So as long as it's not contaminated, it should be pretty good. It shouldn't be an issue.
Jay, I have a question for both Jay and Janie. So, and you don't have to give me an exact number, you can round this off, but when you decided to make the move to the continent, how much money did you start with, and how expensive or how inexpensive is it on the continent in comparison to where you lived in the US?
I'll let you take this one first, Sister Janie. I'll come behind you. You go ahead and start it.
I gotta laugh. Look, you talking about two people exercising faith. Okay, we didn't come with much money at all. We came with $8,000. Yeah. I don't even know what else to say except the most.
Well, did you where you live now, is that where you lived when you moved over to the continent?
No, actually, we're in our third home. The first apartment we lived in, beautiful. But it even though the rent was affordable, the rent was $800, but we were paying for everything else. And I think things that happens here is everything inexpensive that you're like, oh wow, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. So you spend money when you first get here. sometimes, and that's what we did. And then, you know, the realization starts to hit like, wait a minute, you know, we got to start living as close to a local as we can as we can get. So we moved out of that apartment and into one that included utilities. Right. But it was decent. But my husband says it's nice, but I didn't like it, even though it was my idea to move into it. But it was noisy.
What made you choose Rwanda?
Say that again.
What made you choose Rwanda?
I didn't, and initially I did not. I wanted to go to Tanzania, but I was a part of a business mission. It's a lady here named Dr. Harnett, and she has these business missions. And so I had been taking part of her program, like learning how to do business on the continent and that kind of stuff. And she had a mission here. So when I came here, I kind of like fell in love with Rwanda. It's beautiful. It really is.
Is it?
It's beautiful. It's clean. You know,
Very
I mean,
clean.
It's just an amazing place. There is not a place that you can go and not see a fantastic view. I mean, it's called the land of 1,000 hills, right? And it's just gorgeous. But
somebody is asking, is Rwanda 12% more expensive than Tanzania? I don't know if you know the answer to that.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But I think what we should know is that Rwanda is more developed. So when you come to Rwanda after living in the States, it's more of a soft landing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it just depends, like, on what your needs are. Like if you know, maybe people are younger and they feel like they can rough it more. Like, we're in our 60s, we don't want to rough it. You know, you know what I'm saying?
I had enough roughing it in the military. I'm straight.
Yeah. So now we live in this beautiful apartment. Look, I want to say this too. Now, Jay already knows it doesn't matter where you live in Rwanda, at least, you're going to have a challenge. At least one.
Absolutely.
At least one. There's no perfect place to live, okay? The houses and apartments can be beautiful, but something is going to be wrong when you get in there. Something is going to be wrong. So we're now in our third home, which we like a lot. The rent, I rent is $700 for 2 bedrooms, and utilities are included. Okay. And but we do have some issues, like the electricity goes out sometimes, you know, stuff like that. But my husband and I, we look at each other. All right, Jay, we look at each other. We just like, this is Africa. Like we didn't come to Africa looking for the States.
I'm laughing because we neighbors, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So
we live next door to each other.
So, Janie, how many years have you been on the continent?
We just been here a little over a year. We arrived here in November of last year.
Okay. And Jay, how about yourself?
We got here, we're almost a year. I think we got here in February. I believe it was February we got here. It's kind of a trick because I came in 2024, scouted the area, left and went back, did some market research, brought my family back to get the thumbs up or thumbs down. Then we went back again, and then we came back last February. So from last February to now is the time I'm counting.
So when you decided to make the move, did you have? So Janie mentioned that they had about 8,000. Did you have more or less?
I had some clothes, cases, some totes, but my situation was clearly different. I mean, we first off, as I explained before, I'm in school still. I go to remotely to University of Michigan for international business. So I'm a veteran too, so I'm getting some VA assistance and whatnot for school. So we had a little bit of funding because I'm getting money for school and like living expenses and stuff. So that kind of softened the landing, but by no means was it like, it would be the equivalent I guess, of someone coming like with a job, like who didn't have anything going on, they could come here and do relatively well. The cost of living is not bad here. It's very, very low. Very low.
Was it hard for you to talk your wife and your family into moving?
That's a trick question. That's a whole story behind that. I don't know if we got time. I mean, if you want to hear it, I can tell you how it went down. I mean, so.
Well, you can give us the Cliff Notes version.
Okay, Cliff Notes version. So we had a 10-acre homestead in the U.S., right? We had, I was working at University of Michigan at the time as an operations technician doing audio and video there. We had everything good. Like right after COVID, we decided to move out of the city for obvious reasons. So we got blessed and got a homestead. I started raising chickens, doing everything. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, this is good. We got a nice, we can set up shop here. This is our forever home. We're good. I'm in the chicken coop, shoveling, cleaning the coop out and whatever. And it just so happened I was listening to Brother Yacoba. And he was talking about the exit. This was like, I mean, I know who we were and whatnot, but he started kind of going on about the whole Exodus. And I listened to it and I was like, man, that's deep. Because I was trying to my hands were dirty because I had chicken stuff on my hands and I couldn't touch my phone. So I knew what he was doing. And I couldn't get to my phone to change it because I'd never heard like Teo before. And I listened to the whole podcast before it was over. And I was like, man, I was just standing there. The Most High was like, do you trust me? You know how we talk, sometimes we talk to the Most High. Like, do you trust me? Like, come on, man. I was like, Father, you done did all this for us. Of course I trust you. I mean, this is, you took me out of the city with the COVID. He was like, what would you say if I told you to go to Africa? I was like, oh my goodness. I said, oh my goodness. So long story short, my cousin, he used to be a professional basketball player and he was over here already. So he was telling me about it and trying to get me to visit. So I got in touch with him, asked him a little bit about it, about the continent, because he was here in Rwanda. He has a coffee business I don't know what his business situation is like now. And basically, after talking to him, I went to my wife. I said, hey, what would you say if the Most High told us that we had to go to Africa? And my wife, being the woman of God that she is, a woman of God that she is, she said, she looked at me crazy for a split second. I saw it in her eye. But she said, I'm going to go where the Most High is telling you to go there. Then, I knew what I was in for, being with a man of God. So here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's.
And the funny thing is, Africa gets a bad rap, but and obviously it gets a bad rap on purpose. But when you start to see videos or you go there for yourself, you're like, man, why did I wait so long to get here?
That part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's honestly when we got here, when I first got here, I again, you know how it is. You think you're going into huts and you know what I'm saying? You think you're like, oh my goodness. And I got off the airport. I got off the plane at the airport. I was like, dang. I was like, they got cars and nice cars. People driving by in Beamers and Mercedes. I'm like, dang. I'm like, okay. So then we get into the city. Well, when I got there, usually when you get here to Rwanda, it's usually at night. You usually get here about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, just because of the flights and the linkages. So I couldn't see much during the day, but man, when I got up, or at night, but when I got up in the daytime, I was like, wow, the city was popping. It was motorcycles and cars and buildings and internet. And I was just like, man, it's like a
And
city
bathrooms.
Here. And bathrooms, that part.
So let me ask you this, because I've been watching on Netflix. I've been watching a couple of series that take place down in South Africa. So in Rwanda, if I was to get dropped into Rwanda and I was to come out of my apartment complex, are there not? Listen, I've cut out fast food, but are there fast food places or are there more the mom and pop? Is there your traditional shopping centers? Like how does that work in terms of when you want to buy stuff?
You'd be surprised at the level of food that's here. I'm gonna let you talk to Janie a little bit. You go ahead and talk about the food.
Man, the food is so good here. It's fresh. I mean, I used to have high blood pressure, not anymore. I mean, it's real food. My husband battled high blood pressure and diabetes, not anymore. I mean, you know, so the food is delicious, it's fresh. Now you may wait a while when you go to a restaurant. You gonna wait because they're cooking it. They're not warming it up, you know. And so yeah, it's food everywhere. Everywhere. A lot of small cafes, a lot of shacks I wouldn't consider, but you know, a lot of places that are really beautiful and mid-expensive, but also you have the place that are way less expensive. You could eat here. Like what? If 4 of us went out to dinner,
oh man,
maybe we spend $40. Maybe. Yeah. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not fast food at all. But you
fast food, but you can't eat it walking the street.
But he means like McDonald's and stuff.
Yeah, but
listen, Fastnickel.
People don't eat walking the street. They have to stay in the restaurant regardless.
So I got you. So I guess maybe what would be considered kind of fast is a sambusa or samosa, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can grab that.
It's still not on the level of like here.
No.
Like it's not all that processed.
No. They do have a Kentucky Fried Chicken here. I didn't think it was that good. We tried it. They have pizza. The pizza is way different to me. I don't care for it.
I love some.
That's because it's not from New York. You know, New York got the best pizza.
You know it. Fastnickel, do you mind if my husband says something about how he felt about moving here? Like you asked about the struggle.
I would be honored.
Okay.
I would be honored.
Well, this is Ben, everybody.
Brother Ben.
How you doing, Ben?
What's going on, Jay? How you doing, Fastnickels?
And his wife Coco.
And your wife Coco. I heard a lot about you.
Thank you. Hopefully all good.
Yeah, been good. Been spending money on HRP. Well, my story is a little bit different. My wife was talking about Africa, and then she said we was going to go to Africa. And I said, oh, what you mean go to Africa? She said she wanted to move to Africa. So I say, well, I don't know about that, you know, so because we was doing so well in the States, okay, had a big home, multiple cars, and earning very well, you know. So I was like, you know, I thought we was only getting prepared in the home for the doomsday scenario, water and things like that, and then she said that the Most High told her that we had to move to Africa. And I said the Most High didn't tell me. So, you know, when is he going to tell me? You know? But she was like, she going to Africa. So she decided to come and visit Rwanda. And I figured, okay, if I let her go to visit Rwanda, not necessarily let her go, but make sure she goes and get everything. Maybe she'd go, get it out her system. Yeah, and then when she wanted to stay a few more extra weeks, I was fine with that. Send her the money, stay, enjoy yourself, get it out your system. Okay?
Right.
But that didn't work. It made things worse. Okay? She was like, we have to go to Africa and we're going to move to Rwanda, this and that. So I still thought that it was just a phase, because I'm thinking, well, man, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom outside. Yeah, because the image that I had of Africa was always the image of the little kids with flies on them and, you know, people, because I come up in that area. where you see the white woman and she's here to feed the African children, and they got the bloated stomachs, and that's the area I came up in, and that's how I thought of Africa. Okay, so I was concerned about the living, the food, and all that, but she said the Most High told her. So what really kind of pushed us, well, told me that it was no turning back was I came back from taking care of business, and I was out basically the full day doing what we had to do for the job, because we provided things for, for the veterans. So let me shorten it out. So then when I pulled up and I saw all my stuff in the driveway and she was selling it, and I was like, wait, what? She said, we're moving to Africa. And I got plane tickets for November the 1st. And they're not refundable. Are you going? I said, I'm going where my wife go. Okay. But I got here and I'm telling you, because I was thinking all the way, I'm going to miss the dollar store, I'm going to miss Walmart, I'm going to miss all those things. Okay, it's stupid. Right. I mean, the convenient. The States, it's convenient. You jump in your car, go around the corner, and you pretty much find what you want here. Here, you find what you need, not necessarily what you want. Okay? But they have everything that you need to provide. The places we have lived in has been, as far as I'm concerned, we wouldn't have been able to afford them in the States, especially the way the States is going. Okay.
Right.
All right. And so living here has got better every day. You wake up to most of the time a beautiful day. Sun, right. Blue skies. You don't see no chemtrails. Like she said, the food is good, and your health seems to. I'm taking that this is a blessing from the Most High, because my health has gotten a whole lot better. Okay, I mean a whole lot better. Well, I don't need medication and none of that. Okay, earning has been slow, but you earn, and it's getting better and better every day. And so, and this. For what we see here, the States is just getting more difficult, more violent. And the thing is, it's not violent here, at least not in Rwanda. Okay.
So I'm glad you said that, because that was the next question I was going to ask Janie and Jay, but I'm going to ask you too. So when you came to the continent, did you get the side eye from the locals, one, and also, have you found that they've tried to give you the okie doke?
Oh, wow. You asking something.
You don't get this. You get the eye of people are curious, because your style, the way that you talk and walk, and lots of times lots of times people think I'm African. They just think I'm from a different part of Africa because I'm so tall. They think I'm from the West because I'm tall and dark. But when they see Janie, they pretty much know that she's not from Africa. Okay? So, but so they stare out of curiosity. Okay? And the thing is, it's a good and bad situation with this. When you're American, they automatically think you have a lot of money. So you need a guide or someone that you could trust on when you're trying to buy something, because the price goes up for you. Okay. Not extraordinary up. When you do the numbers, it really is not a lot, but it's not what the price is really marked to be. And the assistant that we have, she's outstanding. She'd be like, no, don't buy that. That's too much, because they're trying you, And so you don't really get a side eye. The people here are really nice. They're welcoming. They're friendly, pretty much. But if they think you got money, they're trying to work you out. You know, they get some of it from you. They own you, but they are courteous. And Jay, I want Jay to tell you the story about his glasses when he stopped on the side of the road to help someone, and what happened, and how they recovered them. Okay, but you see the police, some of them have weapons and things like that, but you're not afraid of them. You're not afraid of getting stopped, you know, because they stop, if they pull you, they don't pull you or they flag you over. You come over, you show them your stuff,
blow a
and
whistle and point.
keep on going. You know, it has drained away from me, because I used to be on pins and needles, not just for myself in the States, but for every member that I had, every member in my family, my sister, my brother, my nephews, my nieces. I mean, because a split of a second, you get pulled over for something that you shouldn't be getting pulled over, and your life is gone. Okay, here that doesn't happen, but regardless of what they stop you for, okay, they're courteous, they're respectful, you know, they're not an argumentative people, you know, they're really, it's nothing like I expected, nothing, and I guarantee.
Are there a lot of expats over there?
Yeah. I think it is. Yes, it is. Went to an event to sell.
You don't feel so alone then, because there's people that kind of familiar with how you lived in the U.S. So it's not total. You're not totally isolated.
But man, real quick, I'm gonna let me give it to you. When I first got here, I felt isolated. We had nobody. I thought it was just me and Jamie. Then we met Jay and his wife, Abby. And I'm talking about faster you can live. Now we got a whole tribe. I mean, really. From all walks of life, with nurses, farmers, people could do things with their hands, who know how to do contracts and things of that sort. And it's always ideas. It's always people funneling you, and that loneliness and that isolation thing is gone, because I can walk over next door to Jay, and like the place we live in, it's brand new construction, okay, and we all decided, you know, we're going to move here, and they still building, okay, more buildings next to it, more apartments, and it's a beautiful place, you know. If someone wants to, we can show them a little bit of the place if we want to, but here's Jamie. Let her.
Okay.
Do you see a lot of wild animals?
No.
I see monkeys on the way to my farm. That's about it.
Yeah, on the way to the farm, you might see a monkey on the side, but it ain't no like lions and tigers, like.
The lions and tigers and bears.
No, you know.
Here.
Yeah, up north are the gorillas, right? And I'm not that person. I like for wild animals to have their space, and I like to have mine. So I'm not trying to go on safari. I even heard that. I was asking Ben the other day. I'm like, what would you do if a gorilla slapped you? Like the gorilla. I've heard of gorillas can sometimes slap.
Listen, if a gorilla slap you might not get up.
Right, Ben said he ain't going to a gorilla's house. But yeah, but we have a good community here. I already forgot the question that I asked to let me answer. Oh, as far as people being here from the States, there are a lot of people here, and a lot of them are, in my view, they brought their mess with them. Okay, they're not Hebrews.
Yeah.
So you can still come here if you don't build community, you know, amongst like-minded people. You can still feel some kind of way, because a lady who came here, Mabel, we met, and she told me that she needed to be around like-minded people, because she was talking to a woman who was Christian, and she thought that Mabel was a part of a cult, basically. So that mindset, and so there's still what you call people are celebrating Christmas and different things like that. So yeah.
It's funny. Today's Wednesday. So Monday, I was talking to Brother Karras on the phone, and one of the things we were talking about is the mindset of the people who are coming from the States, that they have to understand it's a different culture. You can't come over to Africa, and remember, every country is different. So whether you're Ghana, Rwanda, Tanzania, it doesn't matter. Each country has different expectations culturally. So you can't just go over there thinking, "Oh, I'm from New York City, and I'm gonna run things the way I run it over there." No,
Right.
it don't work. You really have to understand the culture.
Absolutely.
You don't want to bring none of that mess here. None of that here.
Yeah, and you have to understand the culture and the regime, right? You're not in a place where you say whatever you feel like saying. In public, you just don't do it.
You will get your head clipped by the police if you start cutting up. They will be quick to clip your head up. They're nice, but you like I say, you're not gonna wild out like that.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I don't watch Zoom to Thailand. I watch him maybe once. I might watch him for like a minute or two sometimes because I'll see his things, and it's so funny. He was talking about this guy who was acting up over there in Thailand to the point where the authorities had enough of this guy, and they said, we're deporting you back to the U.S. And the U.S. said, we don't want him.
Dang.
That is cold,
So
right
I don't
there.
know where they sent him, but, people think they can just go over there and act any kind of way.
Yeah, and you really can't. Yep. So it's been good, but it's been challenging too, Fastnickel, for real. And they look, I just saw Blakes. Man, these Rwandans can party, can they not, Jay? They are party people.
Oh my goodness. Quick story. So we moved, like you all said, y'all been to a couple different spots. The first spot we moved to, right? We moved to this little subdivision, and it was a really nice house. Like we couldn't even, if we were in the U.S., we couldn't have afforded the house we were in. I guarantee you. Very nice house. It was in a little small subdivision, and like right across from us, there used to be like this UN complex that got turned into a hotel. Well, apparently they couldn't figure their life out with the hotel and the business with that. So they decided to start throwing parties at this hotel. Mind you, we're in a subdivision, and we're talking banging music, like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was so bad. My wife had to actually go over there and trip on these people. But the one thing about that is the government does not play here, because I know we complained. We put a complaint in, and I know the neighbors next to us, and I know the guy that lives next to the other place complained too, or on the other side of the road. Before it was over, there was a note on the door of that hotel club, whatever you want to call it. It was shut down, and you don't dare take that letter off the door. The whole time the folks was evacuating the place after they shut it down, no one dared take that note off the door. They shut it down, and that neighborhood was quiet again. But we were moving by that point. But yeah, it's a lot of that here. A lot of noise, a lot of partying, you just got to be wise where you move.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. We there's a lot of new construction happening, and so on the internet, you'll see the place is beautiful and everything, but you really need to find out where it is, because it could be in the middle of a village, right? And you may not want to live in the middle of a village, So it's important to know somebody that's here. I definitely think that's if you don't know anybody who's here and you decide to come, that's one thing. You're still going to make it, but it's just going to be more difficult, way more difficult.
Yeah, to your point, when back in 2012, when I decided to move from New Jersey to Miami, a woman was telling me different places to live, but I'd go online and I didn't really know, so I just wound up going to North Miami Beach where she was, and I realized that it doesn't matter what people tell you in terms of the different locations. You gotta go there for yourself to see. Like, until you have boots on the ground, you don't realize, hey, I like this area or I don't like this area. And you're not going to get that until you're actually physically there.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. But I just want to mention something about doing business here, because I think that's one of your interests too, right? Fastnickel, you wanted to talk a little bit about doing business here? Okay, now, and Rwanda is one of the least corrupt countries in Africa, right? And also it's easy to register your business. They make that very easy. Registering your business and actually doing business is a big divide. It's a big divide. It's not easy to do business here as an expat. And I remember my mentor has said to me, like, you pick one thing and focus on that thing. But now that we're here, boots on the ground, I don't believe you can focus on one thing. Maybe for Jay is different. Like, but of course, Jay, you can speak on that. But for us, I'm like, I need to do. I need to learn some tech stuff. I need to do this over here and do this over here, because the money is small too. That's another thing. The money is small, so you're not going to get what you're used to, right off the bat. You're going to have to build. It may take longer to build. I'm not saying that it'll never happen, but it's like you can't have all your eggs in one basket, in my opinion. And I think a part of... Oh, go ahead.
No, well, you correct me if I'm wrong. So I've had conversation with Coco to say, hey, you know what? I would imagine when it comes to food, now, listen, I am not the person you talk to when it comes to food. Like, my specialty is boiling water, hot dogs, and spaghetti.
And an occasional hamburger.
Actually, I'm getting pretty good at making soup. But outside of that, you can come from the States and go over there and create your own little style of food, like Caribbean. I would imagine the only thing stopping you from making money over there is you, because if you're creative and have an imagination, I think that basically you can do so many things over there.
Yes. Well, this is the thing. That's true. It's definitely opportunities everywhere you turn. And let me tell you that the negative side of that is that you can lose money that way too, because everything looks so good. You can throw your money over here, throw it over there. Oh, wow, that sounds great. And before you know it, you have any money. So it's not that it can't be done. It's just, it takes way more effort. And I think it takes way more time, because you have to give the people what they want, right? When you're creating a business, there has to be a need for it. Do people want it or need it enough to pay for it? And then you have to think about the money that people make here. Who can afford your product?
Yeah, you got it.
You know what I'm saying?
So with that said, I'm going to step away for a quick second.
Okay.
But in terms of the African beat, in terms of your product, did you decide to do your product once you got to the continent, or you had your thoughts to do that before?
I had to.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, so we decided to do our product before we came, because as I mentioned, I was a part of this class, this business community, and where the teacher gave a lot of insights on what kind of businesses is going to work in Africa, how to invest and, you know, housing and all that. It was good information, but it's just like anything else. Like you know, a lot of things work in theory, right? And then, but putting them into practice is a whole different ball game. And I think that's what and I'm not trying to be discouraging or negative. I'm just trying to keep it real because it's important to me. Like some of the things that we've learned, I think you mentioned being a pioneer before, like when it came to crypto. I feel like we're pioneers here. So we're
Absolutely.
learning things, right, that we can share with people so they don't have to go through some of the heartaches that we've experienced, right? So yeah, so that's it. So we may have a lot of ideas, but again, do the people want it? Can they afford it if they even are willing to pay for it? You have to take all of that into consideration.
Can I add on to what you're saying, Sister Janie? You mind if I
Please
add
do.
on to it? So no, you are 100% right in what you're saying. Like just being here, you really got to move smart being here. Like I feel so blessed to have had good mentors, like being here, like some of the other expats that came before us. We just, by the Most High's grace, we managed to link up with like all the right people. This one brother Beckham in particular, who kind of showed me a lot of the ropes and just moving. Because if you just start throwing money at stuff here, you will get taken advantage of, for one, because this kind of goes back to that, oh, he's a foreigner, he's an American, he's got money, and you're gonna get the foreigner price. They got a word for it, but I'm gonna just, I'm gonna keep it basic.
Mazungu price.
Mazungu, yeah, you're gonna get the yeah.
What you know about that, Coco?
Exactly
I know a lot.
Yeah, so you get that price, and like it happened to me in the very beginning. Like on my farm, I needed some work done, and I paid this guy to do the work, and he finding out, first off, he didn't do the work that I asked him to do. It was far below standard in what I asked him to do, and I'm like, wow, I just lost like over $1 million Rwandan francs, which is about $1,000-something, which is huge because we don't have money like that. You know what I'm saying? We're operating on a strict budget. And I lost all this money to get some work done on this farm that I felt needed to be done. Come to find out, I could have got that same job done for a third of the price that I paid this guy. And just not moving smart, not knowing who's who, it's very valuable to move in groups, to get in, and before you make moves like trying to start businesses, talk to somebody, because I had someone tell me this. What was her name? The one she's doing good here. She does the intake, like when you first come. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of that sister's name? Oh my goodness. Anyway, I know Abs, you know who I'm talking about. The woman who helped us when we first got here. But she told me, she said, oftentimes when you get here, you don't end up doing what you plan to do. You're going to have to be flexible to make shifts. But she came here in a place, showing people around this, that, and the other. Now this woman's a principal of a school here, doing completely different things on a whole nother level here. So you have to be really flexible, like in what you do, and you have to be careful how you make moves. And another thing Brother Beckham told me too, when I first got here, he said, if you're going to fail quick. Don't sit here and keep throwing at something that's not moving how you feel you should be moving. If your instinct is telling you, yeah, I don't know about this ain't right, just move forward. Just don't be scared to say, okay, I'm done, I'm gonna try something new. And that's what got me in the position now, because originally, like I said, I was supposed to be doing this freeze drying, this and that. I kept hitting obstacles and obstacles and obstacles. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna listen to what Brother Beckham said, and I didn't necessarily fail. I shifted my focus. Now we're doing organic goods, and now I didn't even mention this before, but we got a distributor now and we're able to grow these tomatoes, and we have a distributor who's going to start pushing our stuff out for us. You know, so with that shift, I'm allowed to come back to what I want to do, get the revenue built up to come back and do what I need to do to move forward. So just things like that, little add-on, but I'll send it back to you.
Yeah.
How do you see things working out for like digital nomads?
Well,
very good.
Great.
My wife's a digital.
Great. I think that might be the best. Yeah, I think that could be one of the best ways to go because then people don't have to really look at you. And what I mean by that is like, okay, we started the Hebrew Thrive Collective, right? And the main reason that we started that community is because we were tired of getting ripped off. Okay, we were just tired of it. It's hurtful, right? It doesn't just hurt your pocket. It hurts your feelings. I mean, my feelings were hurt because I'm like, you're looking at me like a foreigner and I'm looking at you like family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I even heard that somebody referred to us as the dumb tribe. You know, we come here with our arms and our hearts are open. And everybody doesn't feel that way. Now, I'm speaking generally, right? We're not talking about every single person who lives on the continent. But I think digital, working that way is a good way because then you're global. So no matter what happens to the money in the US, you can still earn money, right? In other countries, from other countries. And also people, like I said, people are not just looking at you. Let me tell you, when we go out to pitch my honey, people have smiled at us, said they were interested, never heard from them again. And I'm talking about big companies. Then people have used us, like they just really wanted our expertise, right? Our ideas and stuff like that. Never heard from them again. So that's why community is so important.
Right.
Community is highly important. And that's what we're attempting to do. Like do business with one another, not exclude anyone, but also just have a place where we know that, okay, I got some apples, you got some oranges, let's do this. I'm not gonna cheat you out of anything. I'm not going to take advantage of you and all that. So that's what we're building. So I think digital nomad, as a matter of fact, that's what I started doing some research on. And I posted that earlier today, like all the different things that we could be doing that where people don't have to necessarily know that we're Mzungus,
Exactly.
So here's a question based on what you're saying. Obviously, we all know the type of racism that Black and brown people experience in the US. What type of racism have you experienced over there, if any?
It looks different. If Jay, I don't even know if I'm right about it. It's just my opinion, right? But it looks different. It looks okay. The person who referred us to the second place we were living in, she's Eritrean. The landlord was Eritrean. Okay. And so that's what I see. So I want to say maybe it's more tribal, like people are doing what they're supposed to do. They're supporting, they're taking care of home, right? Love begins at home. What is this? Charity begins at home. Love begins at home. So they look after each other. And that's what I've learned.
Everything
we have to look after each other. Yeah, because they're not going to look after us.
Do you feel that if any or little racism was due to fear, thinking that you were going to make them feel irrelevant?
I don't think that personally. I don't
think that. I don't really
the West
think
has got this persona, like if you're not from the West, you nobody. And so when you come over there, you're like the new kid on the block. You're gonna be looked at in, because part of racism is fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Well, they're not afraid. I will say that they're not afraid to. I mean, the people who done us wrong, they weren't afraid to build us up falsely. Make us think that they wanted partnership when they really didn't. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't. I guess it could be a form of racism, right? My husband is saying it happens in the States, but we know that. But we know he said he doesn't see racism.
more than it's
I just think it's tribes. I just think we're going to take care of our own, and some people really don't want to do anything else.
As far
Is there a lot of Indian and Chinese?
Yes, and a lot of whites
I was gonna
too.
bring that.
all of a sudden.
Wait a
I
minute,
was
baby.
going to bring that up. As far as like when it comes to some of the Indian people, I feel sometimes in some places, some of them might have a little bit of air about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I might be a little bit better than you. Just when it comes to some of the Indian people that I've at least I feel that from them. When it comes to more like Sister Janie was saying about like the local people, I feel it's more tribalistic. Like when it comes to them, like we gonna take care of us. Even there was a situation when we had my driver, the guy who drives us around, we had him doing something for us, negotiating some things for us. And then the guy was like, he told us what the guy said. We got some really good people that work for us and with us. And we were negotiating. And the Rondon guy was like, why are you helping him? You're Rondon. He's not Rondon. You know what I'm saying? It didn't come off as a racist thing. It came out as like, we the same tribe. We're supposed to be sticking together. So
Right.
that's kind of the feedback from the locals. Some of the the other expat foreigners, I feel a little bit of that from them. The Chinese people here, they don't even really think much of us at all. They don't really, they don't go one way or the other, really.
Right.
They just be walking by, you walk by. It's nothing with them for the most part.
Gotcha.
It was so funny. I was at this restaurant, and as I got out the car, I'm walking into the restaurant, and this little Chinese lady, she looks at me and says, "Hello, sister. How you doing?" And I was shocked. Like, sister.
Oh, wow.
And she said, "I love your scarf." And I was like, "Wow, thank you." Like that was really cool. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, no, nobody else says anything. You just kind of like Chinese. A lot of Chinese own hardware stores. You just buy your stuff, go in there.
Yeah.
They don't pay you no mind. Yeah.
Has speaking English been a deterrent?
Say that again.
Speaking English, is it easy to communicate? Does everybody speak English, or predominantly most people speak English?
A lot of people.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah,
do.
a lot of people do, but I personally, I think more people. There's a lot of people who don't, and a lot of people who do. Like when you get to the younger people, a lot of the younger people speak English. But when you're dealing with like the older people, it gets a little difficult. But I attempt to try to speak the language as best I can. Of course, I stumble around. I do what I do, but they work with me. Like the construction guys next door, he'll come up to me and he'll start speaking, and he'll be teaching me stuff. So as long as you try, they're very nice here. They're very nice spots. I'm
so challenged in that area. I just don't remember. Like, I remember Maricosi, and that's Diego. I mean, it's little tiny words. I've been here over a year, and that's all I know. 2 words. But yeah, it's still relatively easy to communicate. And Kinyarwanda is not an easy language. It's a really difficult language. I'm thinking maybe I'll learn Swahili or something, and we'll still be able to communicate. Because my assistant said that she understands a lot of Swahili, like a lot of people do. So yeah, but Kinyarwanda, I find it really difficult to stick. It doesn't stick.
Do you both think that you're gonna keep your roots in Rwanda, or do you think there's a possibility you might check out another country? And you might not even know the answer yet.
I know the answer.
I kind of know the answer.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, this is my wife and I have been kind of talking. As far as business goes, this is definitely where we plan to have like a business anchored here. It's very business friendly here, very easy to do business. However, we plan on, like, as far as living somewhere, we got a couple places in mind. We're considering Mauritius. Where else? So we were talking Seychelles, whatever it's called. But Mauritius is kind of where I'm looking. But it's not bad here. It's not bad at all here. We plan on, I want to really get some spots in different places so we can kind of once business gets to that point, we can jet set a little,
Right.
you know, live here for a while, live there for a while, kind of live that life. I'm at the second half of my life. I've got high ambitions. So
Yeah. Yeah. I actually think it's very smart to have a second residency. Like here in Rwanda, like you can stay for 2 years and then, you know, they have other visas and stuff. But so I would like, y'all willing, we'll get the 2 years here, and then I would like to go to Mauritius and get the premium visa. You know, like y'all willing, will earn enough money that we can invest in a property in Mauritius. I just think it's smart because the world as we know it is upside down, right? And so I think if you had to go somewhere, it would be nice to have that in place already, if at all possible. Now, where we are currently, we're like, it's a 3-hour drive to Tanzania, to the border, right? And then, and if you had to, it's a week's walk. Who wants to do that? I'm 64 years old. Like, I'm trying to get ahead of this thing, not
walk. Listen, I'm not doing no walk where there's a possibility that a lion come out of the grass.
Tigers and bears. Oh my!
I know that's right. I know. So it's like, you know, we talk about it as a community, right? And we just we're keeping our ears open, like, and hope and praying that the Most High will give us some notice. You know what I'm saying? Like if we need to move this way, move that way, so we won't have to walk for a week. You know, maybe we could just go to the airport and get a flight up out here. But yeah, but I
got 2 motorcycles. I will do no walking.
Yeah, but you got kids and a wife and a mom too, so something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta survive.
You know what's interesting? You know, people just look at Africa as a continent, but when you take the individual countries, they're so very different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They are.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been looking at Mauritius. You know, you look at South Africa, you look at Ghana, like, and Kenya, like, just looking at those 4 countries, they're so different. Like, you might love all 4 of them, but they're so different. Like, it's I guess it's like going to America and just going to the different states. You know, the different states are different, you know, on a different level.
I think that's kind of cool, actually, though. I like that, you know, that you don't have to travel that far. Like, you can travel the difference between Michigan and Ohio and have a completely different experience. I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Michigan and Ohio because, you know, those you know, that one. I'm not from that area, but I know that Michigan people, they can't stand Ohio, and there's only, like, I guess the river that separates them.
You've been educated correctly, my friend.
The whole, like, I did a little.
I'm not touching
it. Research on why the Michigan, the Badgers, like, just.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, back like 200 years.
The Badgers.
I said the Badger, but I meant the Wolverines. I meant Michigan Wolverines. Yes, Michigan Wolverines. I'm thinking about Badgers. I was thinking about Indiana and that area, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So do you
But yeah,
think that Rwanda would be like a good starting point for people when they want to move over to the continent?
yes,
Very soft.
Okay.
it's a soft land.
Very soft.
Because no matter what, you're gonna get the culture shock. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna feel the loneliness. Okay, you're gonna miss whomever you know left back home, and you're gonna miss certain conveniences. Now, none of that makes us want to go back, but it
Right.
is a phase that you go through. You know what I'm saying? It is,
Yep.
and it's unavoidable. But so I think that Rwanda makes it a bit easier. You know, maybe a lot easier. Because at one point I wanted to visit Zanzibar. Then somebody told me that Zanzibar has a lot has a lot of cats. And even when you're in the restaurant, the cats come in the restaurant
Oh,
and walk
no.
up to the table, and I'm like, "What the hell? Excuse me, but who allows that?"
Well, have
You
any
know,
of you, have either of you ever considered going to South Africa? If yes, why? If no, why?
I don't need the West that bad. I'm gonna hurry up and answer that real quick. I heard one, they got the same level of violence from what I'm understanding in a lot of South Africa. Two, I don't miss the West like that. I like being in the slow environment. Like even when I was back in the US, I lived in the country. We lived 30 minutes from anything. Like you wanted to get gas, you had to drive 30 minutes.
I live an hour away from
Not
everything.
necessarily. Oh wow, that's what's up though. I respect
Mhm.
that. I like that. At the same time, like just the from everything I've heard about South Africa, there's nothing about me that wants anything that even resembles the West. I'm good. I'm good on all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm good on that.
I also don't want to. I mean, one day to visit, I would love to visit, but I can't imagine like settling there because of what I heard. Like it's like a mini America, and
Okay.
you know that's what I fled from. You know, so and like
That
and here in Rwanda, you know, the worst crime that I've heard of is petty. You know, like if you leave something out, somebody's going to take it. You know, and of course that's the result of poverty, right? But nobody's
Right.
running around killing each
Exactly.
other, you know, or doing, you know, these police officers, they out here with AK-47s. That's the kind of weapon it is, right? You feel no fear,
yeah.
you know, because you know that you really got to
Yeah.
do something for them to, you know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So it's a whole different vibe. And so I think, yeah, like getting here, I think it would be a good place to start. I do.
Okay.
Because even Mauritius has a lot of dogs. So I've been keeping my eye on their stray dog situation.
Well,
Mauritius.
Jay brought up the Seychelles. Do they also have a
Yeah,
lot of animals running around like domesticated animals like dogs and
I don't,
cats?
Sure.
I don't know about the Seychelles, but I look at how long can I stay? You know, and since we're, you know, basically retired, like, you know, that's where our income comes from right now. Like there's no the Seychelles doesn't offer like that kind of retirement visa that Mauritius does. As I don't want to have to leave a country, you know, every few months, come back and do all. I don't want to do all that. So I never really thought of the Seychelles as a serious place for me to move. I see the
And it's an
No, but
island on top of
based
it.
on
So there's a few people asking questions about Ethiopia. You want to read the question, Fastnickel?
yeah. So Temi is asking, do you guys know anything about Ethiopia, and how do you feel about traveling there?
All I know is I would love to go to Ethiopia. I'm like
me
waiting.
too.
I'm waiting.
I love Ethiopian food. Ethiopian food is so good.
Man, I'm
I would love to go to Ethiopia.
I'm
I
waiting to go.
love to go there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I've never been, and the only thing that I know is what Yakoba tells us, right? That's our home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you know, I'm like, yeah, I would love to visit there. The other thing that I know about Ethiopia is that they have some of the best honey in the world.
Oh wow.
They
Really?
produce some of the best honey in the world. But that's it. One day, y'all will and we'll get to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Have you had Ethiopian food?
I've had it before. Like when I lived in Ann Arbor, there's this Ethiopian restaurant in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I've had some of the Ethiopian food there. I can't say I've had it here on the continent, but Ethiopians own it, so I would assume it'd be a little similar. So
I'm never.
Man, there's a place in Orlando that I've gone a couple of times to have Ethiopian food and the coffee. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
nice.
And I tell people, if you got little kids, they'll love it because you get to eat with your hands.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what our sister says here. These are my utensils.
Yes.
Yeah. Ben said he's not doing it, but okay.
And thank you now says, this has been very informative. I've been trying to tell people Africa is not what we have been told.
You were
Now I
good
can
to that
share
last part.
information. Thank you so much, by the way. So this person's a Buckeye, so don't be mad at her being an Ohio.
I'm not mad at you.
Buckeye.
We all the same. We'll be good when you get here.
He showed the mugs.
The rivalry
This has
is
been
Well,
so
you know
cool.
what? Before we leave, because we've been on for 2 hours, which I mean, I've enjoyed every minute of
Me
it.
too.
But what I want to do is just share this one last thing, just because me and Coco are on the board with Q2A, just to show, what Q2A is doing in terms of their land project. And so anybody who wants to help out, you can come here and donate to the land project. And here you can come here and click the video. You can watch the videos of what Brother Karras is doing on the land. And so, there's a lot of great things going on. So if you want to be involved, if you want to volunteer, you can always come to the website and click to volunteer, or you can just donate if you want. But the bottom line is do something. Don't sit back and do nothing. Do something.
Agreed.
Brother Fastnickel, I said, get out.
Hey, Fastnickel. Ben just said, get out.
Yeah,
Ben said, y'all, get out.
Yeah.
So listen,
Yeah.
somebody's a Michigan fan. They said go blue.
That was me.
See, me being from the Northeast, I'm thinking when you say go blue, you're talking the Giants.
Okay.
Well, Coco, you've been muted. You have any last questions you want to ask Jay and Janie?
No, not at all. I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
And thank you, Jane and Janie, for coming on.
Thank you.
with
Thank you
us.
so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys
And
for
when you guys
having
have
us.
time, like I said, this was just off the cuff, and maybe some others that are part of the Hebrew Tribe Collective will not feel any kind of way and just come on and just share your experience. This is how we grow. It's all about community.
That's right. Totally agreed. And I forgot to mention, we have a podcast, right? Her Story, My Story. That's Abby, Jay's wife, and I. We created a podcast, and I posted it on the Hebrew Tribe Collective earlier. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, whatever, because we're talking about some of these same things that we were talking about tonight. And we're trying to keep it real.
I was pleasantly
I
surprised with how good that podcast
I actually was listening to that, so let me just share that real quick.
Thank you.
So for anyone interested, this is the podcast that Janie's talking about, Her Story, My Story. And I was listening to some of it before we came on board. So, it's always great to hear, especially because most of the people that are listening, they all want to go to the continent. So who better than to hear the experience, but from people who are on the continent?
The people out there scheming, trying to keep people away from coming,
Yeah, he knows.
trying to keep black folk from coming.
Exactly. They don't want you to know what's over there. They don't want. But you know what? That's how you know that the Most High is there's a change, because the secret is out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because them other
Right.
folks are coming.
Because let me tell you, every time I go out, I see more and more people who don't look like us at all. Like, so people are coming. Could you call her back? So people are coming, and we need to be a part of that. We need to be here. This is our land, right? And we
Yeah.
need to be here. They come, they're building, opening businesses and stuff like that. Which, I mean, it's okay, but we need to be doing it. So
Correct. We need to be doing it. So before we say goodnight, I just want to go ahead and just bring this up one more time for everybody. Remember, we've got the African Bee co.com. So, if you're looking to buy some honey, and the email address, in case you want to, if you're in the States, I had posted the email address. I know it was a Gmail address.
yeah,
Go ahead, Jenny. What is that email?
it's africanbeeco27@gmail.com. africanbeeco27@gmail.com.
Because this honey looks amazing.
It is.
And for those that want to know more about Green Arc Farms and just freeze drying, Brother Jace, he's in the process of getting some things worked out, but definitely reach out to him, because it's all about community. We need to work together. And obviously, if anybody wants to learn about crypto, you can see my background. That's actually, when I was living in Orlando, that was actually my room. So my background, that's actually the way it looks.
Wow.
So I love my crypto.
I feel like soon I'm going to need to join again, because it feels like one of those things, if you don't practice, regularly, you can kind of lose it. The knowledge of it, I mean.
That's true if you're not using it. And our Monday course, so this Monday I started teaching about commodities. So as an example, I'll just show this. So we were talking about commodities, and I was explaining how, with the price of metals, silver, gold, the way it's skyrocketing, if you can't actually purchase physical elements, through my presentation, I showed you how to take advantage without having the physical items. So this is what we talked about today. And this upcoming Monday, we're going to talk about life insurance and how to maximize life insurance. And to truly maximize life insurance, you really want to set up a LLC and a trust.
I need info on that trust. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
something I want to do as a trust. I need some assistance with that myself.
So
Excuse me, I still have this hope that enough of us that are here, will come together and join your class, so then we could have it at a time that works for us, because
right,
1 o'clock in the morning is really hard.
I understand that. And for those who don't, as I said, when you're an exclusive member, it gives you access to all of my stuff. But I also have placed down here. So for instance, if somebody just wanted my commodities, they can download it here. I also have Protecting Your Assets, which is a 15-page PDF, which just talks about how to set up a LLC with anonymity. I always have a hard time with that word, but so the great thing is these things here that you can purchase, they all are accessible when you're an exclusive member. So if you want, anybody who visits my site, you can also click here to see what's the difference in membership. And basically, when you I go
between the
teach you
basic
what's the difference.
and exclusive membership.
So that's it in a nutshell. Jay,
Well, I
Jay,
appreciate
do you have
what
something
you
you'd like
do.
to say before we call it a night for you guys? Because I know it's late for you.
Yeah. Just pretty much thank you for having us on. It's been great to be able to come here and talk to family and just kind of, put our experiences out there. And if any of y'all are ever in country or want to come in country, feel free to reach out. My contact information.
Yes, and I pinned it at the very top of the chat. So if you go to the very top of the chat, you'll see the greenarkfarms.com. You'll also see the africanbee.com, and that's all at the top of the chat. So Janie, she kind of, her connection, just want to find out if she has something she would like to add before we say goodnight. Oh, I think their internets went. Well, that's okay. Coco, do you have something you want to say before we say goodnight? I guess not. Well, oh, here's Jay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We lost power here.
Okay, that's what's happened to her too.
No.
Yep.
No.
So we're neighbors, so yeah, same team.
Yeah, so she lost power too.
That's part of life being here, this whole power thing. So yeah, we lost power. See, I'm in the dark now.
Well,
hang on.
You got your flashlights.
There we go.
There you go. Well,
yeah, this is part of the life here on the continent. Sometimes it is what it is, but I wouldn't go back for nothing.
No one ever said it was going to be easy.
Yeah.
But all
this
you
is life in the wilderness.
Is just make sure that you're under the covering of the Most High, and everything will work itself out.
Absolutely. All praises to the Most High. Absolutely.
All praises to the Most High. So with that said, maybe we'll do this in a week or two if you guys have the time, and maybe some others that are part of Hebrew Thrive Collective, they'll want to join in as well.
Sure. That sounds great. Thank you so much again for having me.